5 husbands. And the woman, the man now you have is not your husband. I don't know any of you have got the experience of divorce or break up with your loved ones, your boyfriend, girlfriends, whatever. It must be a very traumatic experience. Imagine she had 5 husbands, 5 divorces. You can imagine how broken heart she must have been experienced through, I don't know, through how many years. There might be regret, there might be anger, there might be feeling of being betrayed. There's a lot of emotional burden on her. And now she just may be afraid to marry, so that's why she just like to just live together. Don't want to get married again, don't want to commit herself again. So, well, most child experience have a lot of your childhood, everyone. If you have a painful experience in childhood, it affects you a lot. And I'm suppose this fire in Taipo must have affect a lot of adults, but it must affect a lot of more to children because they lost their home. That's a bad experience for them all. And here, there's a Swedish study. They check out something like 25,000 of the people who born. They're grown up now, and looking back at them, see how much they have gone through. And out of them, you can see that adverse child experience means family violence, emotional abuse, neglect, physical neglect or sexual abuse, rape, all these comes under the adverse child experience. Out of them is almost 1/3 of them have at least one adverse reaction, adverse experience. And out of that, at 9,000 something, 1/3 of them have got what? Psychiatric disorder. So the more bad experience you have child, the more psychological problem you have. Exposure to multiple this kind of adverse experience sharply increase the odds of having psychiatric disorder. In adults, that means the more you get problem. But a positive non-parental adult support, that means your children, your teacher or your friends, they can and positive helping you, and the parents-child relationship during childhood, so with lower risk of depression, general anxiety. So this really any good. That means if you love your child, really so care to your child, it make a big difference to your child. To a great extent, child guidance. This is why I say parents hold in their own hands the future happiness of their children. Upon them rests the important work of forming the character of these children. The instruction given in childhood will follow them through all their life. Parents, you sow your seed, which will spring up and bear fruit, either for good or for evil. Feed their sons and daughters for happiness or misery. We like to love tank. We all have how much love you have. So your parents, your daddy and mommy believe in God. God is love, 100% love. We may not have the perfect like God, but if we love God and we love each other, your spouse, you get good love. And then this will inherit to somehow impact on your children, and your child also will have kind of love. So, on the other hand, if your parents are not loving God, or they don't love each other, for that matter, they they have just more love. So what happened to child? With even little love also. And we can also, we have a lot, people have a lot of emotional problem, addiction, compulsion, all these kind of emotional problems. You can feel it's something like a cake with different layers, 4 layers here. The first layer is what the symptom. You can see some people have depression, some people have anxiety, some people have addictions, all kinds of addiction. So, and this surely will affect their relationship with each other, with their friends, with their parents, with their siblings. This affect a lot the relationship. Deep underneath, most of people who have involved must have this abuse. As we said, the abuse can happen in childhood. Of course, it can also happen in teenage or adulthood, whether emotional, sexual, or other kind of abuse, neglect. All these are abuse, and underlying it is each one of us has a hunger for love. God created each one of us. We want to be loved, and we want to have social with each other. We are not island. We don't isolate with each other. We like to be socialized with others. We like to have social loving relationship. That's a hunger. And this basic problem, if it is not satisfied, you get all the problems of addiction, emotional problem. A mother's teaching have a marvelous vitality intent. There is a strange living power in that good seed which is sown by mother's hand in the child's heart. In the early dawn of child's being, the child listens to his mother as what? As like God. Yeah, I mean, when you're a child, when they're 4 or 5 years old, whatever you say is absolute truth to them. I remember my children, they just really, they say, whatever I say, they believe. But one day, around when they were 12 or 13, one day suddenly say, Daddy, you don't know anything. So, I mean, when you're young, they believe in you, but as you grow, they think that they know more than you do. Child guidance say, young children, if left to themselves, learn the bad more easily than the good. Bad habits agree best with our natural heart, with our natural tendencies to know bad things, to learn bad things easier. Things which they see and hear in infancy and childhood are deeply imprinted in their mind. So whatever you say to their children, they influence a lot. And then it's a hard time for them to really, if anything bad, hard time for them to change. Child guidance say, by the thoughts and feelings cherished early year, every youth is determining their own history. Correct, virtuous, many habits form in you who become a part of the character and will usually mark the course of the individual through life. The youth may become vicious or virtuous as they choose. They may as well be distinguished for truth and noble deeds as for great crime and wickedness. Really, their childhood, our childhood, determine a lot of what we are. And I'm sure each one of us, we must have good, maybe really at least good positive teaching in childhood. That's why we are here in the church. There's a personality in Bible. You can take it as an example. 1 Samuel, it says, that time Saul was being crowned king. So, and upon whom is all the desire Israel, if not upon you and all your father's house? And Saul replied, am I not a Benjamin from the smallest tribe of Israel? And is not my client the least of all the clients in Benjamin? So why would you say such a thing to me? You know, he's talking to Samuel. Samuel say, Saul, you're going to be king. And Saul's response said, oh, I'm nothing. I'm just a small potato. I'm the smallest tribe. Out of 12, Benjamin's the smallest because one time they had a war, and then Benjamin, the tribe, a lot of people have been killed. So the smallest tribe. And among the smallest tribe, this tribe, his clan is even the smallest. So we say Saul has a kind of inferiority complex. And then we were at that time, so after that, they really have to be democratic. So they have a casting the lots, and so a casting at the end, we realize Saul is really God chose Saul to be the king. So they said, where's Saul? They couldn't find him, and then they asked God, and God said, he has hidden himself among the baggage. Imagine you have a church board meetings and deciding for next year who is going to be deacon, who is going to be elder, who is going to be Sabbath school leaders. And then you find normally somebody, and there's somebody is not here. He's hiding somewhere, maybe inside the toilet. Why? Again, maybe there's really this shine, or more likely to be an inferiority complex. So Saul has an inferiority complex. Samuel, one time talked to him, you were once small in your own eyes. Have you not become the head of the tribes of Israel? How do you feel? Do you feel that you are nothing? You are nobody? You don't have good? You don't look beautiful like the others. You are not tall enough than the others. You are not smart enough. So Saul has a kind of poor self-image. When you have inferiority complex, when you have a poor self-image, surely you have an inferiority complex. And so we know he make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't follow the instruction. So Samuel was questioning him why he's doing the things he should offer to be like creating like a priest. And Saul say, I have transgressed the Lord's commandment and your instruction because I fear the people and obey their voice. You know, that time they fight. There's a war between with the Philistines and the others. Enemies have a lot of chariots and a lot of good fighting weapons, whereas they are very poor. They hardly have any much weapons. So the people are getting scared, and slowly, so one by one, some of these soldiers just deserted, and Saul was getting anxious. How getting less and less people to fight, and then so what happened? He said, I don't want to wait for Samuel. Samuel's supposed to come in 7 days, and now 7 days he hasn't turned up. So he's getting anxious. He starts doing the thing of offering to God. But he's afraid. He fears the people and obey their voice. Obey their voice. Remember, you are the leader, and then you are scared about your other people work against you. So there's a sort of what? Insecure. He's very insecure about his position as a leader. So why he has such a poor self-image? So what is this? When Saul introduced, when Samuel introduced Saul to the people, he said, look at this man. Anybody like him? What is Saul like? Is he small? No. He's what? Handsome, taller than, one head taller than us. Imagine somebody, you want your husband to be handsome, to be tall, muscular, who can protect you. So Saul is the type of person. He's handsome, strong, healthy, and tall. So such a man, how come he has such a self-image? You mean just such a person should be very confident and filled with energy and all this, but yet he's a self-image. He's poor. Remember one time he was search, the father asked him to go and search for the donkey, and he searched around for 3 days, and then he said, "Let us go back, for my father will stop worrying about the donkeys and start worrying about us." So, and how old is he? You know how old that time? He's not a boy. He's not a teenage. He's 30 years old. So imagine a 30 years old boy still attached to the family. When you have somebody that old enough, 40 years old, still attached to the family, still have no their own independent thinking, and then stuff. The father has take care of him, worrying about him. So what kind of man is this? And we know who is the father. Father is a powerful man. Yeah, he's rich, powerful. I imagine that Saul is so tall and strong. So the father must be also tall and strong, powerful. Powerful, maybe like a soldier, captain. You know how a captain, he says something, you have to follow. He's powerful, still talking, directing people to do what they were taught. So probably the father is a strong man, and he's been very strict in his education, and Saul has been under his teaching, under his sort of rule all through his life. And that may be the reason why he had the inferiority complex, there's a child guidance saying, well, many err upon the side of indulgence. Many of us today, we don't want to, we are not allowed to punish the child. We are not allowed to even scold the child or anything like that. So we let the child do whatever they like. We know there's a lot of children like that. Others go to the other extreme with a rock of iron. So there's two extremes. Either your indulgence too loose or too hard. Neither of these follow out the Bible's directions. Eternity reveals the result of the work done to your life, to their life. So maybe really the father had been ruling Saul like a rock with a rock of iron. So he has to submissive to the father. Some children have been left to do as they please. Others have found fault and discouraged. But little pleasantness and cheerfulness and words of proof have been given to them. That's why I say we like to encourage the children. We like to praise them for doing the good things, and rather than, we know a lot of parents, they like to pinpoint the small mistake the child makes, and really find fault with children, and that causes a lot of problems. As I say, when they have all these problems, they affect their relationship. See what happened to Saul. When Saul saw that David was very successful, you remember that David goes out to war, and every war he wins. So people start praising him. Saul start worrying about and fear. He was afraid of him. So when he is when you are inferior, when people have inferior complex, you can have different reaction. You can be like this, very become fearful, start paranoid about him, or to the other extreme that you really feel that you are nobody and you are timid and don't want to do anything, and people ask you to to separate school, say I can't do it, and ask you to stand up to sing a song. I can't do the the special music. I mean, you can do either ways in your reaction because of the inferiority complex. And then when he heard that the people saying, David can kill millions much more than him, he started jealous. Fear, jealous, from that time on, Saul kept a close eye on David. And he get angry easily. When you have this kind of emotional problem, you get angry very easily. So anger fell at Jonathan, because Jonathan was become good friend with David. And then you start cursing him. As long as the son of Jesse lives in this world, neither you nor your kingdom will be established. He knew that he's wrong, but he wanted to keep his kingdom. And then Jonathan asked, why you hate David so much? He's doing good. And then what happened? He even with a spear. It's anger. Of course, he doesn't really want to kill his son, but it's out of anger. When you're out of anger, you can do all kinds of things irrational, which you cannot explain. And he was angry. You just want to kill Jonathan also, out of the rage. And then we know that David escaped, went to the priest and get food, and so he can continue to escape. And the priest didn't inform David, didn't inform Saul. Of course, Saul got information, and so he went there and killed all the priests. At that time he killed the priests.